because he's off on his sleigh delivering toys.
Yes.
So
Maybe he is real after all.
that's right.
Guess we'll never know.
Maybe he escaped out the window. He was a felon or something.
Yeah. The sleigh would have ran up right next to the window. He hops right out and into the sleigh.
And he's free.
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Another episode. It's us,
Yes, Amanda and
Joseph.
yeah.
We're just so giddy to talk about this next episode that we can't contain ourselves.
Yes, we are having Christmas in March.
It's Christmas time in March. How do you feel about that?
I feel a little out of the holiday spirit, but
It's a little too soon, isn't it?
or too late.
Yeah,
Probably too late because it's
too late.
3 months after
But too soon after we just celebrated.
and 9 months early. But yes, yeah.
So it's Christmas in March because we're reviewing The Nanny, episode 8, the Christmas episode.
Yes, our first Christmas episode of the season,
Yes.
of the entire series.
Yes, that's true. And I guess I'm a little surprised that it's not a whole Hanukkah-based episode yet. But I think Christmas was the first thing they did.
Yeah,
So there's a mention to Hanukkah, though, in this episode.
there is.
Hmm.
Well, without further ado, let's jump in.
So, brief description about this episode. Much to the children's disappointment, as well as Fran's, Maxwell has to be in Washington, D.C. on Christmas Day. Meanwhile, Fran has overextended herself in buying gifts for the children.
Yes, that is the entire plot. But there's more.
Wait, there's more. We'll review it right now. So, in this first scene, everybody's getting into the spirit because Fran just took the kids ice skating and they're all wearing their ice skating outfits. And Fran is wearing a nice ice skating outfit, but she just took them and she didn't go skating.
Yes, and to Niall's reaction as they walk through the door, he's shocked that she's not wet at all.
Yeah, because Fran says to the kids, okay, go hang your clothes out to dry because they're all wet from falling down and skating.
Yes. But she is either the professional or just doesn't do it.
Nope, I think she just likes to dress for the occasion and that's the most important thing to her.
Yeah, it's all about that fashion icon.
Yes, Fran the fashion icon. So when she walks in with the kids, they go upstairs, hang up their clothes, and Niles is stringing cranberries on a string, but he doesn't look too happy about doing this.
Yeah, no, this sounds like a pretty... I've never done this, but this looks like a terrible and tedious task to... Well, maybe not terrible, but
It does look very tedious.
Yeah.
So do you have to put a hole in the cranberry and then put the cranberry on the string?
Yeah, I guess you use a pin or something to make a needle-like hole in a cranberry
I'm not sure.
to feed string through it.
Never done it, but that does sound quite tedious. So
Yes, but I do like Niall's remark here when Fran asks, who probably came up with this tradition, and then Niall's responds saying Ocean Spray was the...
yeah, so they can make more of a profit.
Yeah,
The cranberry juice company.
that would be a good marketing pitch if it was. I'm not sure that's the case why it originated, but...
I could see that, though, as being a plausible thing. Do they sell cranberries, too, or just cranberry juice?
I'm not sure, actually. I only know them for their
Juice.
liquid form of cranberry.
Liquid cranberries.
Yes.
So Fran calls Niles an old Scrooge because he's not really in the Christmas spirit as he's doing these tasks. And then Niles says, yes, you call me an old Scrooge, but you don't have to clean up all the Christmas decorations every year, too. So he's just anticipating the cleanup, dreading that, and then he has to put it all together, too. So he's a pretty busy man.
Yeah, especially with how large that house is. That's a lot of
Lot of work.
festivities to mount and remove.
Yep. So Fran says, that's the thing about Hanukkah, though. There's only 8 candles. There's a menorah. No muss, no fuss here about anything. So it's a pretty easy setup and cleanup.
Yes, yeah, I guess a lot less actual decorations involved with it. So
Yeah. So Niles realizes that and he says, wow, is it too late for me to convert then? And Fran says, "Oh, it's never too late." And this is when she mentions you'll need a bar mitzvah. And then, of course, you'll need a circumcision to fit in. And then Niles says, "Now I'm filled with the Christmas spirit."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that would be something to look forward to as an adult male.
Probably not.
So that's the first scene. So going into the next scene here, we have the kids, Fran, Niles, Max. They're all decorating the Christmas tree in the living room by the fire. It looked like quite a cozy scene there. So like nice holiday festivities going on with that.
Yeah, nice family gathering. Kind of probably the epitome of a nice family enjoying Christmas around the living room, the fireplace, the tree, decorating the tree. So
Yeah. So in the Sheffield family, they do the lights first, and they're all alarmed by Fran, who wants to first put on tinsel on the tree. So I guess there's a right way to do something according to the family.
yeah, I mean that's how I did it as a child growing up. The tinsel was the last thing. So
Did you even put tinsel on the tree?
yes, we did back
That's
then.
shocking.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've done it now, but growing up, no, we did that.
Wow.
Yeah, we did the lights, then the ornaments, and then the tinsel. Maybe we did though. Actually, I think that's what we did. Or we did the tinsel, then the ornaments.
Okay.
I'm doubting myself now. I'm doubting my childhood. I don't remember.
Don't doubt your child. So when do you put the star on the tree? Last or first?
I think that was last.
Like the final touch?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What about you?
I think that was the final touch too. It was like something to look forward to at the very end. So
Yeah. Kind of the peak of the whole experience.
yeah,
No pun intended.
the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So what do we do as a family? Pop quiz. What do we do each year, and in what order as a family? You know?
Yeah. Well, our tree is pre-lit, so we don't have to
Ta-da!
hang it.
And we don't put tinsel on it.
Yeah. So it's the tree, which comes bundled with the lights, then the ornaments, and the topper.
Yeah, but is the topper last?
Yes.
I thought I'd trick you up with that one there. So Fran says this is her first Christmas tree, though, so she's not used to any order or tradition with it. And then Fran goes into a story about her past Christmases. She says one year they begged Sylvia, her mom, for a Christmas tree, and they ended up doing like something called a Hanukkah bush instead. And then the candles ended up setting the flocking on fire, she says. So the candles from the menorah. And then she says the fumes put my father into the emergency room. And it was a variation on the Burning Bush Classic that year. So it was just a really interesting story.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what a Burning Bush Classic was. Do you know what that is?
Well, it's referring to the burning bush in the Bible with Moses.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Burning Bush Classic. So my mother took the whole thing as a sign from God, Fran says. And from there on in, we spent every Christmas at the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach, which is a fancy hotel in Miami Beach that's still open to this day.
Oh.
Yeah. So Fran also says to this day, I can't get a whiff of Bain de Soleil without having a yen for eggnog. And I didn't know what this was either, but it's sunscreen. So.
Oh. No, I've never used that or heard of it.
Yeah. It's a type of sunscreen. So every time Fran thinks of Florida or the beach, she's reminded of Christmas because that's where they decided to spend their Christmases from there on out after the burning bush incident.
I mean, yeah. I would probably do that if I was afraid of catching another
Bush on fire.
Yeah.
So Max, then he asks Fran if she will work on Christmas Day. And he's asking her this because he's going to DC to start producing a benefit for the Kennedy Center for kids in need. And he's never really home on Christmas Day. And then because of this, he suggests celebrating a day early. How do you feel about moving Christmas Day and celebrating a day earlier?
Yeah, I mean, as a family, I probably wanted that wouldn't be great, but I mean, if I was celebrating it by myself or something, sure. I
Wow.
don't know, I wouldn't think that much, but I mean, I don't know when I would celebrate Christmas by myself. So, um,
Yeah, what is this picture you're putting together? Well, when I'm by myself, I would definitely move it.
yeah, I know. I mean, as a family setting, no, I couldn't imagine that. So
What if you had to work on Christmas Day?
then I would still have celebration with the family that day. I would just do it the hours I'm not working.
Wow.
Yeah,
You'd
still.
sit there with your laptop and celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's a really bad picture, but
It is a bad picture.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty
But-
bad.
yeah.
Would you just tell your job, no, I need a couple hours off? I'm sure they would understand.
Yes. Hopefully they would.
Hopefully they would.
Maybe not all companies do, but
But this is really bad. At least like you'd be present. Maxwell is like in a different state.
yeah, right. This is a totally not there. No presents, no nothing. So
Yeah, so the kids are really upset to hear Maxwell won't be there this year yet again. And Fran is trying to cheer them up and talks about Santa and says maybe the kids can all write a note to Santa and they can take that note and visit Santa at the mall so Santa knows what they want for Christmas, trying to brighten up everybody's spirits. And they say the only person they believe in is Edna. And Fran says, "Oh, Edna, is that Mrs. Claus?" And they say, "No, Edna, our personal shopper. She's the one who gets us all the gifts that we want every year." So all three kids don't believe in Santa at this point.
I mean, Brighton and Maggie, understandable.
Even Brighton's young, though. How old is he?
I guess I'd say he's probably like 10 or something.
Yeah.
So
But especially Gracie, who's like 6 years old at this point.
right, she's definitely the most shocking, I would say.
So no one has like that Christmas spirit. They're just looking forward to getting their gifts from Edna.
Yeah, which I gotta say, I mean, that's a pretty well. Fran also mentions it, but
Yeah,
quite the occupation to just be a person
Personal
that goes
shopper.
shopping.
It's great.
Yeah, that sounds right up Fran's alley.
That's true. Fran's like a little jealous sounding of this job. She's like, maybe I can do that.
Yeah, maybe she should have tried to search for a job like that instead of selling the makeup.
Yeah, that's true. So Fran says, like, what would it take to get you to believe in Santa? And Gracie says, well, if I did believe in Santa, I would want him to bring me Dad home for Christmas. So that's her number one Christmas wish that would make her believe again. Sad.
Yeah, that's a pretty heartfelt wish.
So here, next, we see Niles talking about the staff Christmas bonuses. And he says every year, Max is busy in his office around the same time writing up those big checks, especially for Niles. And then Fran is surprised and she says, "Oh, the staff, we get checks, we get a little bonus." And Niles goes, "4 figures, Miss Fine." So that's a pretty big Christmas bonus.
Well, yeah, especially in the 90s. That's a sweet bonus. So
It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's a hefty sum. So of course they're looking for, well, at least Niles is looking forward to it. Fran is now experiencing what it could be. So
That's right.
gives her the idea to be a little more generous with her gifts to the children. So
That's true.
which is a nice gesture from her to be
Spend
willing
her
to
money on that.
put that towards that. So
Yeah, for sure. So Niles gets Fran excited with this, and Fran says, "Well, how do you know he's doing that right now, like writing out checks?" And this is when Niles says, "Well, the keyholes don't polish themselves, so he's clearly just spying to see when this is going to happen."
yes, part of his job seems to be quite the
Spy.
detective and learning all the insides of what goes on in this house.
He's very nosy with
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
So in this next scene, we see Cece. She comes in Maxwell's office, and as she's coming in, there's like a plant on the top of his office, and she says, "Oh, is this mistletoe?" And Maxwell's not falling for this at all. He says, I actually think it's holly. And Cece says, no, it's mistletoe. And that calls for a kiss. And then perfect timing because Fran walks in and she goes, okay. And she gives her a kiss on the cheek. And that's obviously not what Cece was expecting. But Cece is dying for Maxwell to romantically pay attention to her.
Yeah, she thought this could have been the excuse to make it happen. And
Yeah, finally for her. It was going to work.
yeah, Fran swoops in and denies that chance. So
This probably makes Cece like not like Fran even more.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The
Jealous.
yeah. My mind was drawing a blank, but yes.
The jealousy.
Yes, yeah, is creeping in ever more for Cece here.
Yes. So Cece, this doesn't stop her. She is going on about how her and Maxwell are going away for the holiday at this event. And she tries to like paint it up to be like, they might have time for dinners. And Maxwell's like, no, we don't have any time for dinners. It's strictly business. This event is strictly business. So he's setting it up like straight up. This is business. Stop talking about you and I together. We just happen to be going on this same business trip.
Yeah, which I kind of find. I mean, what are they supposed to just eat dinner? I guess at the event or something. Maybe the event hosts dinner for people or something, and that's where they eat.
Yeah.
Or they just skip dinner altogether. They just don't eat this entire
Or
time.
Maxwell can go back to his hotel room by himself, order room service.
That's true.
That's probably what he envisions in this whole thing,
Yeah,
rather than romantically getting involved with Cece.
yeah, getting dinner solo.
Solo. Yeah. They didn't have like Uber Eats or DoorDash back then, right?
Okay.
Of course not.
Those
So
are the 90s.
yes, but they did do delivery, as we saw with the Chinese food.
Yeah, you could use a phone,
Yeah,
not the internet.
the phone.
Yes.
Get Chinese.
Right, the analog solution.
So Fran comes into the office because she's trying to convince Maxwell to change his plans and be a part of Christmas. And he said, don't worry, Fran, I have Edna, the personal shopper. She's going to pull out all the stops. It'll be like I'm there. She'll bring the Christmas spirit. And then Cece makes the suggestion, Fran, why don't you pick out the gifts instead? You know, all those hours that you have free while the children are at school, which is very true. So from morning until 3 or 4, Fran can go do something like that.
Well, this is interesting because this almost brings up the fact, what's the point of the personal shopper? If they've always had a nanny, why wouldn't the nanny be able to do this every Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not skilled in getting gifts, personalizing things.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
But what are they doing during those hours?
Yeah.
Planning events for the children?
Well, I guess the nanny would be more like just different hours, you know, because you'd have to, at that point, watch them when they get back from school, probably till bed. Or almost till bed. So your main bulk of the hours are there and then in the morning. So it's just like an inverted schedule.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true. And then during the summer, you have them all day and night.
yeah.
So
And it's just 24/7.
24/7. So Fran says, how about Maxwell picks out the gifts because a gift from the heart means so much more. And this way he can really be a part of their Christmas because it will have that personal touch from Father.
Yeah, it's a really nice idea by Fran.
Yeah. But as we can see, that idea comes back to bite Fran later in a different way.
Yeah. We also have here where Max says, okay, well, I guess I could just pop into FAO Schwartz and buy a couple things, which FAO Schwartz is a toy store in New York. And
Still.
yes. Well, so it shut down in 2015
Hmm.
due to financial issues or financial stress. And then in 2018, it reopened.
Wow.
So it is up and around, and it originated in 1862. And
Wow.
it is a toy store that's for kids of all ages.
I'd like to go visit.
Yeah, I'm still a kid. I can go there, right?
I think so. That sounds fun.
Kids of all ages.
Of all ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it'd be a lot of fun to go visit that store.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Okay. Well, good stuff. So we definitely need to go visit next time we're in New York.
yes, yeah.
So In this next scene, we see Fran and Val walking in the house. And then, this is weird. Okay. In this next scene, Fran and Val are walking in the Sheffield house, and Fran is talking about how she picked up some stocking stuffers for the kids. And Maxwell's in the living room with Niles, and he went shopping too, and he is all in the Christmas spirit now because he just went shopping and put his heart into it. And we can see Max is in the middle of building Brighton's gift, which is a bike, which Maxwell's not doing a really good job of building this or knowing how to build it.
Which, I mean, I don't know. It kind of looked weird because the bike just looked like it was rather than horizontally like a normal bike would look. It was just vertical. Like, it actually looked like it was being built properly.
Huh.
It just was in an inverted shape, or just vertical rather than what you normally look like.
It looked like it was like one piece of the bike,
Well, it was the frame of the bike
and that was it.
without the wheels and the handlebars and things
Right.
like that. So, I don't know. To credit my man here, he did look like he was on the right track. It didn't look like just like a smorgasbord of parts just weirdly put together.
No, but he looked perplexed, and
Yeah.
he wasn't making any progress past that, besides standing the frame up to the bike.
That's true, yes.
But
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be a man who works with his hands a lot.
no, but the people at the toy store told him it would be really fun to put it together yourself, like a do-it-yourself project. And
Yes.
what
Yeah.
did he call it? Like a bike making kit or something.
Right, it was a bike and a kit because it wasn't a bike that was pre-built. It was one that you could make yourself, and then
Right.
yes, which yeah, he got suckered by the salespeople because maybe, which it was kind of weird because I would think the build kit would be less expensive compared to one that's pre-built.
Yeah,
since
why
they're
would they try
charging.
to get him to do that
Yeah,
instead? Unless they were all out of the bigger bikes and they said, oh, yeah, this is a really fun kit.
yeah, that's true.
But this is what Niles points out, like, oh, they got to him or whatever. So,
Yeah. Which I wanted to mention here too. It was nice how you see that Max actually takes Fran's advice here about buying
that's
the
true.
gifts themselves, and he actually tries that effort. So he takes her.
Yeah, that's true. It
Yeah.
was thoughtful advice she gave him, and then he was thoughtful back by actually considering it.
Yeah.
So Fran starts showing the gifts that she's gotten the kids so far to Niles, and Niles is asking her how she afforded it. And Fran says, well, I wrote some checks because I don't have a credit card because they chopped it up, my last credit card. And she said, don't worry, that staff bonus will get me through. I will cash in that staff bonus. I should get it tomorrow. I can cash it in by Monday, and then we'll be all good with just them trying to withdraw the money for all the checks that I wrote today. So she's really depending on that staff Christmas bonus, 4 figures.
Yeah. Yeah. Which this whole thing, because Niles brought it into focus before, and I guess I don't know. Would you just assume, since Niles has been working there for a lot of years now, where he gets that bonus, that you just
Get one too.
get the same amount as him?
Well, the only reason I would maybe assume that this is actually going to happen is because all the nannies have worked there in the past too. So Niles would have for sure have seen each nanny get an envelope next to him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm sure with how nosy he is, he probably peeked over to see how much they got. So then Niles is probably thinking, okay, everything's going to go according to how years past went. So she should have no problem. But yeah, you're right, though. I don't know if I'd 100% believe that a new person would get this check too. It's not 100% guaranteed. So probably not a good idea to spend the money that you don't have.
At least probably not as much, since tenure. I would think maybe some of the bonus goes on your 10-year basis.
It's true.
But
And I'm sure that's why Niles, his check is 4 figures. He's been there for so long.
yeah.
So that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Next, we see it's snowing outside, and it's fake Christmas morning because they are doing Christmas morning a day early.
Yes, they have to celebrate on Christmas Eve, or as Max puts it, the merry morning of the day before Christmas.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a nicer ring than just Christmas Eve.
That's true. But it looks like a lot of fun, even though it's pretend Christmas.
Well, I mean, it's still celebrated the same way as it
Right.
would the day of. So, I mean, if you didn't know what day it was, you'd never know the difference.
It's true. So everybody's in and they're all looking at their gifts, and Santa's cookies are brought in by Fran, and Gracie says, "How come Santa's cookies have red lipstick on them?" Because obviously Fran ate the cookies. Fran says, "Well, the man gets out once a year. Leave him alone."
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Yeah.
interesting thing to say
Yeah.
to Gracie. So
No more comment on
no
that.
more comment on that one. So next we see Maggie giving Fran a gift. And I think everyone's really taking the gift from the heart notion and putting it into play here.
Yeah, everyone really takes on Fran's idea here of
Homemade,
Yeah.
personal touches.
yes. Then it kind of comes around here, and Fran has a taste of her own medicine.
That's right. So Fran is like, wow. And then she opens up this gift, and I didn't know what it was until it was explained that it was a pajama holder.
Yeah, I had to check the script because when I first heard it, I thought it said a potato holder, but then
Oh, yeah, a
she said-
potato holder. It's
but
a
then it's pajama holder. so-
pajama holder. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So it was like, it had like a sunflower on it, right? And it was like a little sack thing.
Yeah, I don't really know how it was, or they didn't give enough of a good viewing of the object to identify how it would work. But
To me, it looked like a toilet seat cover or something.
yeah, or like a sack that you would. That's why I kind of
Put
also
potatoes.
thought of potato because it just looked like a giant sack with like a hole in the middle of the sunflower to put stuff in. But
Yeah, I couldn't quite make out what they said here. And then I asked you, and you're like, oh, they said it was a potato holder. I was like, a potato holder? It's like, what?
yeah,
And then we checked the script. And pajama does sound a lot like potato when Maggie says it. So
yes,
it's interesting.
yeah. I don't know if you thought it was potato holder.
Yeah. Rewatch that scene and let us know what it actually sounds like.
Yeah.
So Maggie says she made this gift, and it's a gift from the heart. Which
Yes.
is really nice.
Yeah. Well, this was kind of the funny thing too. Is Fran was like, "Oh," and then she held this, and she really didn't know what to make of it until Maggie explained what it was. But
Yeah, so imagine opening up the gift and you have just no idea what on earth it is, and you're like, wow! Like you're trying to show your appreciation, but you don't know what you're appreciative of. yet.
yeah,
Oh, Fran, the line here. So Fran says, wow, I don't have one already. Thank you so much. And Niles says, you don't have one because you don't wear any pajamas. And then she says, you've polished your last keyhole, mister. Like, in other words, now you're spying on me.
yeah. He apparently is very keen on making sure those door handles are nicely polished.
That's disturbing. So my male butler is going to come look into my keyhole.
Yeah, that is a little strange.
And she doesn't wear PJs. So what is he seeing through that keyhole?
Yeah,
Disturbing.
yeah.
So then Brighton thanks Dad for his, and then he doesn't know what to say because he can't quite make out what his gift is either. And this is what Maxwell says, it's a bicycle kit.
Yeah, basically, he just pawns it off to Brighton to
Finish building it.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do it himself.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was interesting. It's a not built bicycle kit.
Yeah, well, Brighton can learn how to.
Build it.
Yeah, it's a good learning experience for him.
It is.
Yes, but then also, so he gets that, but then Brighton wishes that it was Cindy Crawford.
Which they bring up a lot on this show.
Yeah, yeah. I guess because she was the superstar of the time. So,
Yeah.
but and then Brighton, yeah. So he mentions at least she's billed.
And then it's a big burn
Yeah.
there, which that's an interesting comment for
I mean, it's like
young
I don't
Brighton
know. It
to
was a
make too.
weird,
Yeah, it was another weird
kind of a
comment.
weird phrase. Just yeah, but
At least she's built. Wow,
Yeah.
that's weird. So Gracie is still mad at her dad because he won't be there tomorrow, which Gracie's gift from Maxwell was a big Scream doll.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is actually, I just noticed there's a portrait of, an actually artistic portrait of that. And that's where the whole Scream character came
Right.
from. But it's, it originated from a painting. I didn't realize that.
Well, remember in one of the last episodes, they went to the museum and Gracie made the Scream face and said,
Yeah,
we're going to
that's
go see
right.
the Scream picture.
That's true. Yeah.
So they're kind of making it like that's her favorite
Right.
picture.
I didn't put that two and two together there.
I think they tied it together, which was interesting.
Yeah, that's nice that they did that.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So now that we got all those touchy-feely family gifts out of the way, it's time for the staff checks.
Yeah, which is weird. So Niles opens his, but he just opens it right in front of everyone.
Well, Maxwell gives it to him right in front of everybody.
Guess,
like in the middle of the crowd, he goes, okay, dear man, here you go. You've been there for me, tried and true. Thank you so much. And then he takes a peek at his check and he's like, oh, sir, it's just too generous.
Yeah. Which I guess, I mean, we've noticed this before, but I just kind of really picked it up on this episode. But, Max always calls Niles old man a lot.
Yeah.
Which is kind of...
It's like an endearing term or something for him.
Right.
Old man. How much older is Niles?
Yeah, I don't know. Can't be that much older. But
So Niles very impressed with his Christmas bonus. Thanks, Max. And then Max comes out with an actual gift, a physical gift for Fran. He says he picked it out himself. And Fran's like, wow. And she opens it. And it's a vase.
yes, a nice vase.
Yes.
Which she doesn't really understand, nor is she very accepting of it since she has now blown all her money on the children's gifts. So
she starts looking inside the vase. And she's like, is there money in here?
yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Maybe my bonus is in this vase.
So in this next scene, Fran, it's just Fran and Niles. And Fran says to Niles, are you going to visit me in debtor's prison next week when all of my checks bounce and I'm not able to pay for any of the stuff I got? And Niles said, well, you should be flattered. I've never known Max to get a gift for any of the staff before, ever. Like, this is a new moment in history for Max, so he must really care about you. And Fran just is too focused and too worried about how she's going to pay off all of the gifts that she bought. And she even goes up to Maggie, who just put on the sweater that Fran got her. And she's like, hey, you're sure you like that sweater? And Maggie's like, oh, yes, it's a gift from the heart. Thank you so much, Fran. And Fran's just saying, like, if you don't like it, I can always take it back. She's like, no, I would never want to take this off. So
yeah,
that's not working. She can't get the gifts back.
Yeah, she realizes she's going to have to pay it off some other way.
Yes. So Niles offers to lend Fran some money, which is a really nice offer considering he was very excited about that bonus check himself. And Fran says, great offer, but you're a friend and I am not good for paying people back money. So there's no way I can take this from you, which is a good, honest answer.
Yeah. Can't pay it back. Don't take it. So
that's right. So Fran instead just says, you can help me by just slapping me next time you see me shop or do something relative to shopping because I shouldn't be shopping so much.
Yeah.
So in this next scene, Val's in the picture again, and Fran and Val visit Polly at the pawn shop, and Val basically begs Polly to take Fran's vase. What do you say, vase or vase? Let's go over this.
I mean, I say vase, but...
So I feel like, what should we refer to this as? A vase?
I don't know. When I first heard Niles say vase, I was inspired to say it
that
like
way.
that now, yeah.
I really want to say vase every time I'm saying it.
I mean, you can say vase.
Maybe I'll just switch it up.
I'll be the sophisticated British way of saying vase.
Okay. So
Like
anyway.
The low-class society in the way you talk.
Vase.
Yeah.
I got a special Christmas vase.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to try to say vase. How about that? So Polly doesn't understand what this Voss is either. So he's like, what is this? I don't know what to do with this. And Val is saying, please, Fran is desperate. She's just so desperate to get this sold. Please buy it. And Fran doesn't like being called desperate by Val, but she agrees, like, hey, it should be a very fancy one. Like, you could probably do a lot with it. Please take it. So then he ends up taking it. And then she doesn't have the gift from the heart anymore from Maxwell, which is pretty sad.
Yeah, she trades the value of the personal touch for monetary value.
So she will end up in debtor's prison.
Yes.
So she's back from the pawn shop and she's sitting on the couch now with the kids watching TV. They're watching It's a Wonderful Life, and then a commercial comes on saying, you can buy It's a Wonderful Life for $9.95. And then Fran tries to order It's a Wonderful Life through the telephone. And Niles comes along and slaps her because he's like, you don't need this. Stop buying stuff. So
Yes. Yeah, good classic movie being aired, and I would think maybe by now she would have already had it, so I don't know why she needs to now have the inkling to purchase it, but
it's just so tempting.
yeah.
So Maxwell comes in and he's just making sure everything is squared away for his trip, and Niles is helping him with this. And Cece's there, and Cece's leaving from the house too. And Gracie asks if she can come with them, and Cece like quickly turns around and she goes, no. And then Maxwell goes, what? Like he's all like perplexed by this reaction, and Cece's like, oh no, it just, wouldn't be any fun or something.
Yeah,
but
well, you'd never see him. He'd be so busy volunteering.
Helping those kids.
Yeah.
So Max said she would have way more fun at the house with Fran doing Christmas things. And then before Max leaves, he guilts Fran a whole bunch about that vase. So he says, I hope you enjoy the vase. It's one of a kind with just the right accent. Just like you, essentially. You've been a wonderful addition to our family, and I hope you cherish the vase as the children cherish you. And then he departs.
Yeah, that was quite the comments to leave on Fran.
So she feels so guilty now, and she then says, Niles, I need you to watch the kids because I need to go back to the pawn shop and buy a vase and get it back.
And also, I'd just like to mention here that while Niles was packing all of Max's bags, he did mention that he says, I guess I did forget to pack one old bag.
Oh, wait, was this the first burn from Niles?
Yeah, this was referring
to Cece?
Yes, yeah.
And he's talking about Cece.
Right. So this is where we have our first burn of the episode by Niles to Cece. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's making sure everything's ready for the trip. He puts one in there.
Yeah.
To get at Cece and says, oops, I forgot one old bag, calling Cece an old bag.
Right.
Burn number 1.
Yes.
By Niles.
Just had to track that. Anyway, moving on now.
So now Fran is back at the pawn shop, and then Val's being all sweet about Christmas, and they hear a bell ringing, and Val goes, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And then she's like, isn't that beautiful? And Fran says, who cares? Because she's so focused on getting this vase back that she can't focus on anything else. So then she asked Polly, can I please have my vase back? And Polly's saying, well, where's my money? Like, I want my money, and then you can have the vase back. And then she says, well, the only thing I have is my grandmother's watch. And then Val says, but Fran, your grandmother gave that to you on her deathbed. And she says, well, it's the only thing I have. And then she says to Polly, will you swap it for the same $200? Which I thought she spent way more than $200 on the gifts and everything, hearing about the 4-figure check. Or maybe she only got $200 for the vase. That was the best they can do at the pawn shop.
I was going to say, I think that was more for what she sold it for.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I thought here, like, Niles got a 4-figure check and she got a $200 vase, but I'm sure it cost Maxwell more.
Yeah, but I mean, still, $200 for a vase, that's...
I mean, it's a pretty fancy vase. So Polly accepts, and then she's out of the grandmother's watch, but she has the vase now.
Yes.
So this was a great moment because Fran didn't have money to get the vase back, but she quickly looked at anything she had to trade in. And she used finesse by saying, here's a watch. And he actually accepted it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say more so it's more the kindness of Fran and that she's willing to give up something that's very sentimental for her to provide for these children, essentially. So
Yeah,
that's
true.
that's a worthy moment. So
And
yeah,
finesse is thinking on your feet about how in the world am I going to get this meaningful gift back.
well, that's true. It's kind of no second thoughts about giving up the watch. She just immediately offers it. So
Yes,
it's very nice of her. So
very
yeah,
nice.
we'll hand that to her in this moment.
Friend finds finesse.
A watch.
Yeah.
What do I have on me? A watch. Here you go. Finesse.
But it's not my grandmother's watch.
Nope. Not given on a deathbed.
No.
So in this next scene, Niles spills the beans to Max. He's on the phone with Max. Max is at the airport on a payphone talking to Niles. And Niles tells him everything that happened with Fran, about how she felt badly about what she did with the vase at the pawn shop, and about the grandmother's watch. And this makes Max feel terrible that she had to sacrifice something so meaningful to her to get that meaningful gift back. And Maxwell also feels appreciative that Fran thought of the kids for Christmas and spent some money on the Christmas gifts. And Maxwell really feels bad that she expected the bonus. And I think this is fair for Niles to tell Maxwell because Niles kind of put Fran, not put her in the situation, but definitely gave her the thought that she would have some funds to pay for things. So then Maxwell feels like it's his fault for not giving out that check to her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's probably some level of guilt here that he has for it. So he feels like he has to make things better. So, but this does put him in a tense moment because now he's ready to hop on this plane, but now there's tension back at the house. So what does he do? He's in this pickle now.
Well, thank goodness something helps him with this, and it's a 3-hour delay for his flight.
Yes, how common that is.
How convenient.
Yes.
So Maxwell tells Cece, I'll be back in time for the flight. Don't worry. I have to go rectify the situation at home. And
Yes.
Cece's very upset that he's doing this.
Yeah. But I'd also like to say here, this is where we have our dating debacle moment.
That's
because
right.
He has to make this decision, which the delay helps that decision. But nonetheless, he has made his decision to help.
That's right. He was questioning it.
Yes. So we'll give him this moment.
Dapper daddies, dating debacles.
Fran drives him crazy here.
Yes. What to do?
So Cece is very jealous that this meant so much to him that he had to leave because he cares about Fran essentially so much. And then this is where Cece threatens to wring Santa's neck. And there's a Santa at the airport ringing a bell. She said, if you ring that bell one more time, I'm going to wring your neck.
Yeah, which is pretty violent.
Pretty violent. And
Sounds like she might have some anger issues.
she needs to work those out for sure.
That's why
That's
she
pretty
sees
scary.
Her therapist.
Yeah. She needs to see her therapist even more now after that. So the next scene comes in and Fran and Niles and the kids, they're at, I think this is midnight mass, right? For
Yeah.
Christmas. So they're at church and Fran comes in to the aisle and she's actually sitting in a Catholic church and she says, oh, did I miss anything? And Niles hands her the entire Bible and says, this should catch you up to speed.
Yeah, that was quite the remark by Niles.
Yeah, so she just has to read the whole Bible to get caught up to speed with what's going on. No big deal. And then Fran decides she wants to go to the confessional to talk about everything that's been happening here. And then there's a big game of telephone as to where Fran went. What do you think about this this scene here?
It's like I guess because there's a lot of people, especially like kids and stuff, if you're in the middle of a service, you would try to whisper to each other or something. But I guess they thought this was a good idea to put telephone in here, which was kind of funny. But yeah, that was
Yeah, so they say, "Where did Fran go?" And Niles says, she went to confess. And then Maggie passes it down. I don't remember all of them, but it was like she went to play chess.
All right, it was just Gracie and Brighton, I think. I don't think or was Maggie involved?
I don't know if it was like 3 times or 2 times, but
Yeah,
Niles
I remember.
to Maggie, Maggie to Brighton, Brighton to Gracie,
Yeah,
Maggie, Brighton.
now I'm forgetting Gracie's, or not Gracie's, but
Brighton's was she went to undress. And then Gracie
Right.
said, no, I think Maggie's was she went to play chess. Brighton said she went to undress. And Gracie was like, huh?
right.
So then we see Fran actually in the confessional, and she's talking about how uncomfortable the seats are. And she says, "Forgive me, Father, for I have shopped." And then Father, in the next seat over, he says, "Well, I don't know what the penance for that is." And he said, "I suppose you could say 10 Hill Macy's." Ha.
Yeah.
But this father is very bitter on Christmas because he has to work on Christmas, and Father Donahue gets Christmas off once again, the whole week. So that's all he can focus on in this whole thing is he keeps bringing it up. Well, Father Donahue gets the time off, and he even brings up that hotel from earlier that Fran's family went to in Florida every Christmas
Yeah.
because that's where Father Donahue is right now.
No. Clearly, it's a hot spot to go to.
Yeah, might want to check that out. So she's trying to confess about spending money she didn't have and everything, and then Maxwell comes rushing to the confessional here, and he says, "Hey, can I come in, please, Fran? Can I come in?" And he says, "I have your grandmother's watch. I feel so terrible about what happened." And then he opens it up and gives it to her, and she's like, "Wow, that's just so thoughtful." And then she says, "Oh, that's not my grandmother's watch."
Yeah, but, which, I mean, how did he, I guess, unless he was very observant on her wrist, but how would he know what were her watch even?
I guess Val described it to him
Oh, that's true. He could have probably talked to her.
as a gold watch, and he just got some gold watch, and it was incorrect. But why wouldn't Polly know exactly what watch it was?
He probably already sold it, and he just
Gave
suckered
him
this
another one.
chump to basically say, yeah, here's her watch.
Which is sad.
Which
So-
kind of, well, it also plays on like the continuation of how he got played by the bike kit, how he's getting played by the watch. So
yeah.
Max is just a sucker, apparently.
Yeah, he's just a sucker all around.
Yeah.
Terrible. I bet he paid top dollar for that watch to get it back for Fran.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Probably more than his 4-figure, Niles' 4-figure. No, probably,
Four
probably
figures.
About,
Yeah.
probably about 4 figures. But
Probably not. But Fran says, "Don't feel bad. Just the fact that you went and got it was really meaningful to me." And then Maxwell goes to take a seat next to Fran, and he sits on top of the vase. So the vase is ruined, but his backside's ruined as
Yeah.
well.
well, that's a lot of damage.
A lot of damage there. So yikes. In the next scene, they're at the hospital with Max, and he's like laying on his stomach with his backside in the air because he got severely hurt by that vase.
Yes. Which I don't know what severity of the damage would be, but I guess it was.
If he crushed the vase and a piece went in him,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, that had to have been what happened, but
Anyway, yeah. So-
let's talk about the details of his injury. No, we don't know them, but
yeah.
it does sound pretty painful where you can't sit like a normal person. You have to lay like this because in the ending scene too, on the couch, he's laying on his stomach too. So
Yes.
he just probably has to stay off the injured area for a moment. So the kids love this. They're like decorating their dad in the hospital with tinsel and stuff because now Maxwell gets to stay home for Christmas Day.
Yes, Gracie's wish comes true.
Yes, the wish comes true. And then Santa is wheeled in the same hospital room as Maxwell. And it turns out it's the Santa from the airport because Cece actually followed through with her threat to hurt him with his bell.
Well, yeah, I mean, he couldn't just stop ringing because of one person's threat. He had to continue. So
It's his job,
apparently she enacted on her claim. So
which that is scary.
yeah.
I wonder if she got arrested.
Well, not because she was in the air. Because then they have a mark where Max says, well, I guess she's probably in the air now because it's been past 3 hours. So they probably got on their flight and flew, and now she's going solo. And Niles has another remark here to Cece saying, well, there goes the friendly skies.
Niles,
And I mean,
second burn.
probably so, since Santa got his neck wrung. So skies are
Gosh.
no longer friendly.
Well, is it time to go over the Niles and Cece burns of the episode?
Yes, I think so.
That's our last burn.
First, we will have our intro for it.
Is this heaven or is this hell? Maybe sometimes both as well. Naughty nights and sassy CC.
So, burn number 1.
Yes. I guess I forgot one old bag.
Burn number 2.
There goes the friendly skies.
And how many for Cece?
Zilch, Zada, 0. Nada.
So, Niles 2, Cece 0.
Yes.
Burns.
Yes, Niles still laying in. He's won every single round. Cece has not shown up yet.
Way to go, Niles.
She's more busy wringing Santa's neck than
Focusing on burning Niles.
yeah, burning Santa.
Oh, God. So, Gracie says she now believes in Santa because Maxwell's home for Christmas, and she goes to thank Santa for bringing Maxwell home for Christmas. So, now she's in the holiday spirit, and so are the kids.
Yes, and just in time because now it is actually Christmas Day. You hear the church bells going off
That's
to
right.
signal it is Christmas Day, and
The family's together.
yes, they're all there, and Max is there as well.
Max says, well, that was my wish too, Gracie, to be here for Christmas. And Fran says, well, wow, isn't that such a positive way of looking at this huge disaster here?
Yes, she mentions we're all happy and healthy. Well, most of us,
Yeah,
since Max is in the hospital, but
that's right. We're all here. We're happy. We're healthy. As soon as the bells ring, I like that they all say, oh, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. All the individual people all say Merry Christmas to each other.
yeah,
Nice. And
Yes.
then Fran says no one should be alone for Christmas. And then she goes to invite Santa, who's just like separated by a curtain at this point, in with them to just say Merry Christmas and be together. And Santa's gone because he's off on his sleigh delivering toys.
yes.
So
So maybe he is real after all.
that's right.
I guess we'll never know.
Maybe he escaped out the window. He was a felon or something.
Yeah, the sleigh would have ran up right next to the window. He hops right out and into the sleigh, and
And he's free.
yeah. Which clearly, though, I guess he didn't get damaged that much from CC since he's able to hop
leave.
out of a window and
But that's because he's magic, because he's Santa.
yes. But then at the same time, it's Christmas morning, and he still is working on. Well, I guess he still has to finish delivering those presents.
Yeah,
So
because he works throughout the night.
yeah, better hurry up. He's got delayed since he was assaulted. So
Assaulting Santa.
yeah,
So then in this next scene, everybody's back at home. Maxwell is still on his stomach. And they're all playing games. It's a happy holiday.
they're singing the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes. Partridge in a pear tree.
Yes. And then Fran starts asking, why all these birds as gifts? I get the 10 lords of leaping and the 5 golden rings, but what's up with the geese and the French hens and the doves? And it's just like a whole
Bird
flock.
flock.
Yeah.
Which didn't we read that the birds mean different things or something popped up? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Right.
I'd like to look more into that.
Yes. There's more of a symbolism behind them, but I don't remember now. But then that's it. And then they pull the credits. They say Merry Christmas to everyone. And
That's true. They all
thanks
like
for watching.
talk to the camera, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And then that's it.
So what a classic Christmas episode this was.
Yeah. That was a nice, swell
Put together.
Christmas spirit.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a nice one.
It's a nice one.
Yeah.
So with that, I think we're ready for our recap.
Time to recap.
Let's put this all together. These moments are forever.
It's the holiday season
Christmas cheer.
in March,
Yes.
currently.
March edition.
Yes. So kids don't believe in Santa Claus.
No Christmas spirit.
Max, the father, won't be home for Christmas.
Too busy providing charity.
Fran convinces Max that gifts from the heart are better and have personal touch.
But does she expect or realize the same when it comes to her?
Bonus checks.
She's all about that moolah.
Max gives Niles a 4-figure bonus for how many years in a row?
Cha-ching.
But Fran gets an actual gift.
A vase.
Fran bought way too many gifts that she can't pay off.
Spending spree, debtor's prison.
Fran pawns the gift from Maxwell.
She's a hustler.
Fran feels bad and trades her grandmother's watch and gets the gift back.
Can I get a redo, please?
Maxwell feels bad and he tries to get the grandmother's watch back.
I need a redo to that redo.
It's the wrong watch.
I've been conned.
Max sits on his meaningful gift.
Ouch.
Huge back injury. Back end injury.
Yes.
Max spends Christmas with everybody after all.
Has to lay his way through the holiday.
Christmas is saved.
The end. And they all lived happily ever after.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes. Merry Christmas in March.
Merry Marchmas.
Yeah, Marchmas.
Marchmas.
Yeah. Well, I guess that concludes the end of this episode.
Does.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody watching, and we hope you have a happy holidays, but not really. It's not the holiday season now, but thanks for joining us. We really appreciate you watching.
Yes, enjoy the spring weather as March comes around, and remember to follow us on all our different platforms and social media, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, can't wait to keep the conversation going next time.
Ciao.
Bye.